Greetings, digital world. How's everybody today?
Yeah,
Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
we back. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Good, good, great. How are you and yours doing?
Oh man, another day in paradise, man. Another chance to talk to the people. The small things that we take for granted are very big, very important. Being able to touch the people with these words, you know what I'm saying? It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal.
Hopefully, everybody is having a great weekend. Hopefully, everyone has had a great week. Hopefully, everyone has progressed.
Yep.
Whether if it's a day progression, whether if it's over the past hour, past 30 minutes, past 30 seconds. Hopefully, it's a progression from the past time frame, which we usually don't take too seriously nowadays. A second,
Time,
a
time,
minute,
time, time. Time is
15
everything.
seconds, 11 seconds, 7 seconds,
Yeah.
3 seconds, 52 seconds. We don't take nothing. We don't take none of our time as delicate as it could be. I think we get wrapped so tight in day to day life that we forget seconds just by doing that. We just anger, depression, um, uh, sadness. I mean, the littlest things like can take an individual to these places. And you think about how much time it takes to get there,
Yeah.
and it's like when you're really, really, really in a bad place, especially that's one of those places where I feel some people always say that's what they say they gave up at. But the biggest part is in a sense, you really don't give up. It's just that you lose hope. In most cases, even when you're at the very bottom, you're still doing things daily to continue to try to live. You know what I mean? It's not like you just all of a sudden, oh, I just gave up on life, just recently. And you didn't really give
Yeah.
up on
Yeah.
life. You just the hope that you had for that position you were in at that time just didn't work out.
Right. Right.
And sticky as times are now, and this is 2024. You think about every 20 years something changes, and it's just due to time and those seconds and those minutes and those hours and those days, man, just adding up. And you figure like, okay, well, what did I lose time at? What did I take advantage of an opportunity? Did I leave an opportunity on the table?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know you wonder those things, but of course it's not saying you're stuck there, but those hopes for those times just didn't work out, and people that have suffered a big loss um tend to have a story. But again, the story really isn't a thing of saying that everybody's gonna live by that story. You can forget that stuff though. Like some people just don't. It's something
Perfect
as
example. Kids, like kids,
yeah,
man.
something
Your
small. It's
kids.
something as small as that, man. Like that. Those times and moments like that get taken for granted too, man. It's from even getting old. You get old and you see those. I saw a lady. She was I think she was like what she said. She was 77. If I heard that right,
Uh-huh.
77 years old, and she was with this other lady, and this lady was 92 years old,
Mm.
and it was her mama. And you as much as parenting gets taken for granted, and this is just adding to just talking about with time, as much as parenting gets taken for granted, one thing that can never be replaced between you and your parent is time. And
Yeah.
it's as bad as it is You know, we would call our mom sometimes, or we'll call our dad sometimes, or it's the opposite way around. The parent to call the child, you know, just to say one simple thing, and it might be just it don't make sense for them to call and say it to you,
Yeah.
but for the moment that that phone call came through or it goes through, you know, it's a moment in time that we can't forget because it becomes that thing of one day they won't be able to call. And you know, that
Mm-hmm.
lady was like, she was like, you know, it's just been me and my mom all my life. And she said, she's like, and it never gets old, but at the same time, it always stays new. And I thought about it, just you think about it, because it stays new because you think about it, every day you wake up is a new moment. You didn't have this
Wow.
day yesterday, and you know, this is a whole new day. Your mom woke up, or your child woke up, and you know, and
Yeah.
you forget that you're that in that blessed of a position to where you can wake up. And this ain't had nothing to do with a dollar yet. This ain't had nothing to do with, you know, a thing of saying you had to go make money. It's just that you woke up and you can
Exactly. Exactly.
you're the first piece of that puzzle. You woke up.
Yeah.
And I'm always grateful to that thing, man. It's so much that I just you forget about it until you know you're put in a position where you just have to think differently. You have to have an open mentality to see things. But yeah, it's not a rack of things to talk about today, but it's more so just the thing of just I openly just being open and honest about people in time, man. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
a thing that you must think about this daily as yourself. Period. Just first with yourself. Be
Yeah.
honest with yourself and tell anybody around you or be an inspiration to anybody around you just by who you're just by being you. You know,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
simple that's the most simplest thing that you can do. It don't cost money to do that. It's free. That's a
Right.
free
Right.
action. You know, that's free to give. Ain't nobody got to pay you to say hello, or then nobody have to pay you to give love, or don't nobody have to pay you just that's free.
I just picking up the phone and calling,
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
littlest things,
yeah.
But the world has an issue with that nowadays. Those small things we don't do no more.
Mm-hmm,
We won't call unless they call us first.
mm-hmm,
And we don't know what that person is going through. We don't know if that might be our last time even speaking to that person. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it might be on your mind to do it. And some people, pride and ego gets in the way nowadays to where,
Mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to do those small, big things
mm-hmm.
that's so effective in our lives and probably somebody else's life,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
And the harsh reality is again taking that accountability and stepping up to your own situations and telling the situation that you're gonna not allow it to like take over you. It's not gonna take over your mindset. I don't care if
Mm-hmm.
it's a friend, I don't care if it's a family member. It
Yep.
could be your mama, it could be your dad, it could be your uncle, it could be your auntie, it could be somebody that's like really close to you that's really helping feed and face those odds. But the biggest
And
but the yeah.
I want to cut in. I think we need to be honest too. We need to be honest with ourselves, and we got to be honest with people, man. Because it's a lot of yes men. It's more yes men, no men, yes women, no women in the world now. You know what I'm saying? When it used to be, people would correct you if you were wrong or you wasn't acting right. People would try to help you. Now we got the OGs even scared to correct the young folks now. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's in that position to correct, they're not there. They wash their hands. They like, it don't concern me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's a crazy time we live in right now. Like you said, accountability, but nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to hold anybody else accountable. It seemed like, and that's the issue I see nowadays, and why I don't see nothing like really changing. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, time is valuable. I mean, but how you use it is valuable too. And Are you more focused on the time wasted? Are you focusing on the time ahead of you? You know what I'm saying? That's the question you got to ask yourself, because you can get distracted by the time you have ahead of you by focusing on the time you had behind you. And that might be bad times, you know, and it ain't doing nothing but draining you, making you, unhappy, imperfect individual. You know what I'm saying? It can't get nothing done because your mind is so trapped with all these bad memories and bad things that you get blindsided by. You know what I'm saying? You can't even see the good things that happen in your life. You know what I'm saying? We focus more on the negative than the positive. It seemed like we look at all the things we don't have and forget all the things that God has blessed us with and gave us. You know what I'm saying? But we'll sit on the things that didn't go our way, or this person left, or that. What about the person? What about that person that left and God probably was sparing you from a situation? You could have ended up in prison or jail still with this person in your corner. You know what I'm saying? So, like, every loss is not a loss. That's what I'm realizing too as I get older. You know, some things are blessings, or some things are gains, in life. And I just want to cut into this. I seen something on Facebook. It was a woman. I know we ain't got a lot of time, but she was basically saying she had dedicated her life to this one job that she was unhappy with for years. And say just out the blue, she came in to work one day and they said her time was up. They was laying off. She didn't know what it was or nothing like that. But the crazy thing is she was gonna put in vacation time, use her vacation time up before she had got laid off. That same day she was gonna put it in, but they had laid her off, beat her to the punch. And she said she was gonna put that time in because she didn't really have time to do the things she wanted to do, the small things like going to eat lunch with her kids, or going on vacations, taking trips, doing the small things with her husband. So when they laid her off, she had opportunities and time to do that stuff she wasn't able to do while she was doing that job. And fast forward, she got a call. She got another job, a better position, and with flexible hours now. You know what I'm saying? So everything is not a loss, you know what I'm saying, in life. That's how we got to look at it. Some losses are for gains, man.
Yeah. And speaking of accountability, you know, there's a small space of knowing what's right or wrong in a person's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Um the parts that can pull you to wrong can be so overlooked that you don't even know that you're like really in a bad place, right?
Yeah,
So just
yeah,
for
yeah.
example, like, you know, I was speaking on, like, especially like with family, family, friends, and people that's like really close to you. Um, I think sometimes we forget to be a team in a
Mm,
lot of instances, and I'm gonna tell
mm-hmm,
you why. Especially what they used to consider what be used to be the big mama, and this is
mm-hmm,
considered considerably going into talking about inventors and situations like that.
mm-hmm.
Considerably big mama was looked at as the seal, as the bond, as the glue
Yeah.
to a lot of families, especially coming from the slavery days, especially exiting the slavery days and moving into the eras of freedom. But Big Mama literally got labeled. And there's nothing wrong with the label that she received, because it was an honor, it was a badge, it was flowers with it
Yeah.
came along with it,
Yeah.
and nobody saw it as a big thing. But the biggest thing of that piece though was what I said. People having this thing of a team. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people.
Some kind of structure. Yeah,
Yeah,
structure and all that. Yeah.
and see, and that's
Yeah.
that's one
That's
thing
what's missing.
that we lost. And let me tell you why. And you look at it, how much division has happened between people. And I look at a lot of the friendships that I have and have had. along the years, especially, I've had, I could consider a lot of people, friend in certain instances, but there are certain levels to friendships as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the tiers of, and I speak of like top tiers, you know, top tier things of having those top tier friends, there's a different outlook and there's a different space. But see, the thing is you
It's
can't
levels. It's
yeah,
levels.
you can't
Level.
understand and operate. Everybody can't operate in that same space at the same time. And the hardest part about operating in those same spaces is you have to find something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part where I speak on, like, especially let's move back with time. Every day when you get up,
Mm-hmm.
there's something that you can do, but there's something that you could do really good. There's something that you could do really great. But you'll never get great at it. You'll never be good at it. You'll never be excellent at it. You'll never excel at it unless you're being put in those positions to do so. And that's doing what you're, to do what you do that you do so good, that you put your hands on. And that's that one thing everybody admires and knows about you.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing I've learned, though, more so, a lot of it isn't really more so the talent. The talent is there. Don't get me wrong. The talent is there, but what makes it shine even better is who the person is. And a lot of that stuff, more so anything I'm starting to see is more so me that's getting me in these rooms more so than my talent.
And
And
can I say something else?
yeah.
We talking about teamwork and we talking about big mama and stuff like that. And we're
Mhm.
talking about talent. You know what I'm saying? I think one and you said what's missing. You said one valuable thing. What's missing is teamwork.
Mhm.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I have to put this in there. You have a wife, you have a mother, that your father that's very supportive in what you do. So that's good teamwork. That's excellent teamwork. And that's what's missing. A lot of people, like you say, talent is really not all that it takes. Teamwork and that push from somebody, that unity is important. You know what I'm saying? Because that will help a person. Sky's the limit too, to give them that motivation. Like when it is crunch time and they want to give up, to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not superhuman. We're human. We regular. We got feelings. We break. We get cut. We bleed. So that's very crucial. Like you said, teamwork and unity, family, like big mamas. And I just wanted to cut in because I know you say you got yourself in these rooms. Yeah, you did with your hard work and also the support, the system and all that, and God, most importantly, all those are good things to have,
Yeah, but
when it comes to this.
let me go. Let's get a little deeper though, and that's just the surface of it. Because I'm gonna tell you why. This is why I said go back to the individual.
Okay.
So in team, there is no individual in team, no. But to be part of a team, you have to be an individual. So
Correct.
let's start there. Sometimes the team does not understand because the team doesn't understand. That's simply because that's the team. The team is
Yeah.
not going to understand. The team is not going to see the plan the same way. The team is not going to see, well, I feel like he should take the last shot. Nah, I don't feel he should take the last shot. Or I feel she should take the last shot. Nah, I don't feel she should take the last shot. That's the reason, because of we're all individuals. And the
Yeah.
biggest part of the individuality is that's what I'm speaking in the terms of saying time, the time that you have to figure out what makes you the best at something that you're doing. And it
Mhm.
isn't even the saying that having the support yet. I'm just speaking of, you believe it. That's the biggest thing you can have starting off right there. You believe it.
Exactly.
If the team don't believe it right away, the team don't believe it right away.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to always be in that same exact lane as you, because me, I've dropped the ball many times when the team thought I had the ball, but I didn't have it.
Mhm.
So I had to work hard to get my position back to be on that team again. It's not. It wasn't like it's not like the team is not always gonna be like, okay, good job, clap, clap. Sometimes the team,
They looking to see what you can do if
yeah,
you gonna
sometimes,
uphold this obligation. And
yeah, sometimes you're gonna get
yeah.
that Jordan look, that Kobe look, like, what's up? Come on, like, what's
Mm-hmm.
up? Like, step up, and that's the hardest parts about it is though, sometimes it may not come as a nice thing. It may not come pretty, it may not come with a bow on it, it may not come with icing on it. It might come straight ugly. And hence this is the part where I tell people you have to be a strong individual, meaning the individual has to be able to take the load, has to be able to take that headache, has to be able to take that grunt, those hard days, and turn those hard days into something that can be respected. Meaning that you're not gonna let a day beat you up. You're not gonna let a bill that's behind beat you up. You're not gonna allow things getting cut off and turned off or repo to turn you off, turn you into a ugly individual. You won't allow that to happen.
Right.
See, that's the part where I think people they'll feed into that part and be like, "Oh man," and you start hearing the family in your ear, your friends in your ear. Well, man, you should have did this, man. I shouldn't have did that. No, again, individuals. People are going to give their individual thought to something that they feel like, oh well, you could have did better at that. You could have did this better, or you could have did that better. You don't need my help.
Yeah.
Like you're doing good already. You don't need my help. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't got it. I mean, you got it. I mean, all these things contribute in a sense of to the team. In a sense of it is towards the team because sometimes the team is the most honest thing you can have. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it's like Jordan can tell
Yeah,
people,
you got to listen to somebody. Look, we all individuals, and you got to listen to somebody. I
yeah,
mean, if you're not listening to love and motivation in this world today, you're probably gonna listen to hate and discouragement
there you
because
go.
people so that's why I say it's important to have when you find these good people, even family, when
Mhm,
like family got to stick together
mhm,
and and good friendships,
mhm,
man. When you find some good people, just period, you gotta stick together because real is rare to find nowadays. Real, and when I say real people with
mhm,
real intentions, good intentions, great intentions for you
mhm.
are rare to find nowadays. Everybody ain't
This is
wishing
great.
good on you.
Yeah,
Everybody don't want the best for you.
yeah.
You
And
know.
this is the whole situation with what I was speaking of on time, man. Like
I'm glad I
just
got that. Yeah, because that, bro, it's rare.
yeah,
It's rare,
it's
man.
rare. It's
There's
rare.
a lot of backstabbing,
Yeah,
jealousy, all them negative traits going on out here, bro. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's
And
yeah,
readily, this is one thing I've discovered. You know, those moments when you're there, those moments in time, you
yeah.
can't allow those moments in time to tear down your individuality. And that's considerably one of the biggest things I can figure out. Being, this whole entire past week was a thing of time to me. It wasn't like I didn't look at things as a thing
Yeah,
of.
explain your trip, bro. I mean,
I
if you
mean,
don't
it's
mind
it,
on
it's
wax,
it's
man.
it's not a it's not a thing of. I mean, I'm gonna take we're gonna take the time
What
to
did
talk
you gain
about it.
most? What did you gain most from? What did
Yeah,
you
we
gain mostly from it?
we can talk about it. I'm gonna save it for an exclusive episode.
Okay, 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 okay.
It's one of those things where it's like it's respectable for what the case of what I could tell you this right, like in shorthand. It's respectable in the sense to say that we all are dealing with something. That's
Mm,
nothing. Nobody has an
mm.
upper hand over anybody. I mean, we all are
That's important. You
going to
say
have to
that.
deal with something. So
That's important.
I mean, whether if you got money or if you don't have money, regardless of, you're gonna have to deal with something. So let's go ahead and
Um,
establish that mentality before we even get to that conversation. And an excuse is an excuse. You know, either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. You know, don't have somebody, don't look for a soul to give you anything
Mm.
unless you're not willing to put the work in and do what it takes to get, you know, something from somebody. So again, if you want to receive something, man, you like really, you don't have an excuse for me anymore. You know, it's one of those
Mm.
things of, I know more people that have more hunger that live within a 22-mile stretch of land than I know in the whole entire USA. And you can't even fly, you can't even drive from one end of the US to the other end of the US in one day. You can't do it. It's impossible. It'll take you about 3 days to drive from here to California. And then this whole country, basically, in a sense, you know, is 22 miles long. And I know people, more people there that are hungrier than these people that are in this huge entire space. And shout out to my man Carvin, man. Carvin, you a real one. I appreciate the whole entire situation. You didn't have to explain any of that stuff. You didn't have to give any of that game. You broke it completely down to an American that never knew anything about the culture or anything to the nature of what a Bahamian would be. And that was more so eye-opening than anything. That somebody that's willing to give you game, especially to a country that you've never been to, you ain't never stepped foot in, you ain't never, you know, you never experienced it, you know. So for the case of to see, you know, even looking at Africa, I see Africa totally different now, you know, because Africa is a huge country. It's a bunch of different countries connected, but at the same time, I'm starting to look at certain areas differently now. And the respect level is not saying I disrespect. I just respect differently to the nature of what people have versus what people don't have. So again, like I said, we don't have no need to talk about, we don't have no need to talk about things and saying, man, what we don't have. That's an excuse now. That's a big excuse. We can't talk about oh man, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have no backup, I don't have people looking out for me, I don't have no family to do this. We ain't got that. We don't have that excuse no more. It's over. It's completely over. The reason being, if I do that, I'd be basically spitting on my friends, my Bahamian friends, my Bahamian homies, my home Bahamian family. Because the case of I got way too much. I got way too much, man. This what we doing now. This too much, man. This too much. You
Mm.
know, 100 episodes in, too much. Too
Yeah.
much. We're beyond.
Hey,
We're
but you know what? And it's crazy because, like I said, I don't know about you. Like we spoke on this before. We'll let you know, the outside, the public dictate on how, like you say, how big this is, or how what we're doing is big. You
mhm,
know, sometimes you can actually get discouraged because you
definitely.
like, you know what I'm saying, like be like, are people not seeing what we're doing? What we're saying? You know, like it do come up in your head sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. You know what
Mhm,
I'm saying? That feeling. And I know as you, because you're well invested into this, and I know it crosses your mind. Like what crosses your mind with it? Because you had first into it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta put that out there.
yeah.
Um
It,
what comes with it, man, in your mind? Like, you
it's
know what I'm
it's
saying?
it's the hardest part of is making sense of what it is. It's
Yeah.
not the thing of saying you want it, you want something bad, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to make sense of what it is, though. If you don't make sense of the whole situation, if I don't make sense of all this equipment, if I don't make sense of all of this training, you know, I'll putting all this work in, learning how to mix and master, learning how to edit, learning how to do all of the little things that it takes, learning how to budget money to be able to do it, learning how to, I mean, it's all of that comes
Studying,
with
do you study the craft?
you
Like, you know, do
study
you
it. Yeah, you
you
study,
study
you get
what
into it,
people, the
you
vibe,
study,
what,
yeah,
yeah,
you study
how the
the,
podcast and changing,
yeah,
what was
you look
tied, not,
for,
yeah.
yeah, you look for those things. That's it.
Uh-huh.
That's what you that's the you basically said it all. So you study it. It's not the case of saying you don't know what podcasting is. You know what podcasting is, but there
It's always revolving. It's always changing, like
it's going
anything
to,
in life. You know
and
what
the
I'm saying?
biggest thing is you have to be the change. That's the part. Meaning you're the individual. Speaking of, this is something that I fear a lot of us miss out on, being the individual. Be the individual first. Take control of your mindset, take control of the feelings, take control of the anger, the angles, everything that's gonna come at you, the slow days, the times that it don't make sense. You have to think about it just like that. So you take a person like me and you get up, you go to work all the time. I get up, I go to work all the time. But everything is not in the same building. We don't work in the same building. We don't work in the same areas. We don't work in none of that, right?
Right.
But we both have the same goal. The goal is to achieve what we need to achieve, take care of what we need to take care of. That's basically it. That should be the case for everybody. But the hardest part is you have to realize that part, like we was talking about the other week. If you don't put anything into something, meaning if there's nothing like if you go 28 days without eating food and see what happens. Go 28 days without eating food and see what happens. I guarantee you ain't gonna be the same dude you was 28 days before. I'm telling you. I can put money.
You gotta have that food. You gotta have that food in you to move and work. You gotta have it in you to work.
And people,
you know what I'm saying?
And the people that look at the hustle it's not seen right. And that's the part what is hurting a lot of people that are just being people like us, just to be in front of cameras, to be on a radio, to be on a song, to be. I forget what it takes to do it. I forget what it takes to put it out. I forget what it takes. I forget it. I forget it. And it's the reason why
you the man behind, and you the man behind the camera,
and that's the part, beat, and that's the part that I forget.
So if you forget it, imagine just the artist.
Yeah,
the one that's just in front of the camera.
Yeah,
you're editing this stuff. And if you forget it, oh my God.
And that's the part. That's the part. But and again, and a lot of people will they feel as if in like that is I'm not trying to say this, but it's an insult. They feel like that's an insult.
Nah, that's just real talk.
Well, man, you got all this, you know how to do this, you know how to. I hear that, right? But I don't think about it like that. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think about it like that. Because if I get caught up in that space, it's so many different spaces of it that I forget which one I'm at that time. So like right now we're in the seat, so I have to sit here and I have to express, I have to put out the feelings, I have to tell the story, I have to, there's the details to doing this part, right? But then once I do this part, I have to shut my mind down from this part once we're done to be able to put the angle, to take that angle. But see, I'm so wrapped up in doing, not doing it the wrong. I don't have to worry about doing it the wrong way anymore. That I just do it.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I'm trying to get, like, that's the part that I'm people are overlooking right there with when it comes to me. That's the blessing. So I'm gonna tell you how it's the blessing, because when you're in the driver's seat and nobody has to tell you what to do, that's a whole different angle to what you do, bro. Like yesterday, I mean, this is literally my second year doing it. I actually would have had the 3 years under my belt doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of the first year, I kind of just missed it. The second year, which was last year, and then this year came, and then I'm already booked for it again next year in 2025.
Congratulations.
So it's a thing of like, what you have to realize is once you do something good and somebody recognizes that you do it good, that's when you have the driver's seat right there. And that's
what you say. All it takes is one.
All it takes is the one. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's not saying that it's all just about, like I said, it's not all just about the craft. It's not just all about the craft. More so, what do you know? How are you as a person? Like if I sit down and have a conversation with you, is the conversation going to be, is it going to help me? Is it going to boost me? Is it going to put me in position to do different things, do better things? Instead of, okay, I just want to know about podcasting. That's it.
Mhm.
If you just want to know about podcasting, you can go online and get that.
Right.
See, the thing is, you're getting something from my individuality versus just learning how to podcast. See, a lot of people can podcast. It's simple to do. You can do it
Yeah.
just with a single cell phone. But to do it at the level that you see it at, how people doing it, other people doing it, that's gonna throw you off because you're not doing it your own individual way. You're trying to ride a wave. Don't ride the wave.
And let me say this, and like you say, it's about individual, you know, who you are as a person, right? So look at the people in the world that's kind of like getting attention now, that's on top right now. You know what I'm saying? And what people gravitated to. And you know, a lot of it is not how, I'm not gonna say positive, because I like I've been a big speaker on Sexy Red, and I've actually came to respect her just because of her originality and just her being her.
Yeah.
Like you say, individual, when you meet Sexy Red, you already know what you're getting involved with. That's what I like. I like originality. When they meet Duan, they know who Duan is. They know what character he is. They know how he coming with it. When they meet Quincy, they should know how Quincy is coming with it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna come raw with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't bite my tongue. If something's on my mind, I'm gonna say it. Like, you know, I can be respectful about it, and I can be hood. I can be hood about it. I know how to change my individuality. I know how to adjust it in these rooms. You know, I know how to get used to my surroundings. I know how to, you know, fit in to my surroundings. So I mean, yeah, it's that's important, individuality. And I respect the person that's just them, that tell the truth about who they are and stand on who they are instead of somebody faking it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important.
Big.
That's important.
A lot of people have had the hardest time, just like I say, creating an individual lane. Once an individual recognizes their lane, I think that could take them and skyrocket them to the next big phase of their life.
Exactly.
And
it don't even matter
kind of closing this out.
If the public, I'm sorry, if the public, and I want to say this, if the public don't agree with the individual who you are, don't worry about it. If that's who you are, stick with it and push it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get discouraged about what people don't like, or they look at you crazy, because like, and that's what I respect about Sexy Red. She came in the game ratchet. She's pushing the ratchet. And she, you know, and that's her. I appreciate that. I respect that more now. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like it, go find somebody that's professional, or, you know, a girly girl, or wifey material. But I tell you this though, a lot of the girls that's in church might be worse than Sexy Red. They just cover it up well.
There you go.
So I want somebody to be honest. I like them honest ones, the ones that's gonna tell you, just show them the true them, than the ones covering up, because we don't know really who those people are when you covering up. So I like originality. I like the individuals that be them. So shout out to Sexy Red. Yeah.
Most of these people again run that run to a situation where, as I said, they'll try to follow something, and in the sense of, again, individuality, most of these people forget that you have to be the individual that somebody can go to, trust in. It's a brand. Like, okay, it's individual. Like I said, it's an individual. You can't copy her now. You can't copy Nicki Minaj. You can't copy all of these people of the past, like you said, that's been at the top, right? So just think about it. If we had way more people trying to be individuals, we wouldn't have these waves going on like that are so close to looking almost identical, like twin.
Exactly.
And The scary part is it's messing up the game a lot, period, across the board. I mean, human beings daily, just going to people you go to school with, that you go to work with, you know, that they're riding a wave with somebody. Sometimes, and it's not saying everybody's doing it, but sometimes there are individuals. The individuals that stand out get more ground covered because they're an
It's
individual.
changing them. It's changing them. It's not them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
issue. That's the issue. It's not
Mm-hmm.
them. They're just trying to follow a
Mm-hmm.
trend.
I'm
And
trying to
that's where the
follow the
issue
trend.
comes in. Instead of
And
being yourself.
exactly. And it's not that a person can't be, you know, again, I'm not talking junk about anybody, saying as if somebody is wrong or these people aren't being individuals. But again, your kids, they are watching this stuff. You know, you have to have control of time, meaning that's what we are, you know, was talking about in the first place. Time.
Mhm.
What is the time going into? Again, I mean, we've talked about it before. You know, there's a lot of things that you can put time in, but really, are you putting enough time into what you need to? Meaning you can put time in your work your job. But remember, your job is only about 50 to 60, 70 hours of your week. There's still hours and hours and hours and hours left to grind, to hustle, to put in more time, to go work. You know, don't look for people to support that dream that you want. If you
Right.
want somebody to support it, you be to be the support for it. Take another 20 hours, go work 90 hours in a week just to fuel your situation and your dreams, because ain't nobody else gonna believe in it until they see you believing in it. And once they see you putting money into it, like you putting money into it, they might start saying, you know what, let me give you some of this money. Let me help you out here. You know, let me feed something into this situation. And that's what's basically been happening for me. You know, like I'm not even asking for a lot of these blessings. It's just a thing of just working, staying in the moment, not letting the stuff around me throw me off and get me off the tracks that mentality God gave me to keep going. And that's really the biggest thing. Like I say, that time, those times that I'm starting to see where I was doing wrong, I'm starting to do a lot better with, you know, whether if it's being reading the Bible, whether if it's praying, whether if it's listening to inspirational music or inspirational words, something that could give me something that could feed my spirit versus
Yeah.
allowing my family, my team, or whoever it is to throw me off. You know what I'm saying? And taking true advantage of that and being a better individual so that they can see something better in me that may help them out. You know what I'm saying? And help the
Right.
team
Right.
grow,
Right.
and the communication could change. We could probably get there. You know what I'm saying? But
You
again,
ain't gotta say a word to motivate and
nah,
change somebody, man, or
nah,
touch
you
them.
don't. You
Sometimes
don't.
you
And
just lead by example.
yeah, just lead
You
by
ain't got you
example.
ain't yeah, a person to get it, a
Yeah,
real person
just
to
take
get it without
time.
you hammering them over the head.
Yeah,
Eventually
there
it'll
you
come
go.
to it.
There you
They
go.
see you stay
And
alone, stay around long enough and
mhm,
show them for example. Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, man, that's simply straightforward it, y'all. I mean, take advantage of our time. You know,
Time.
it's never gonna be anything easy though. I mean, if you want it though, just keep working. You care less about what people got going on, saying about it, or whether if it's going fast or getting there fast or slow. Just get there. You know, just
Right,
put in the
right,
time, put the time in that is needed to do it. You don't have to consistently say that it don't have to be every day. It could be once a month. It could be till you can get to that point where it's twice a month or 3 times a month or 4 times a month. Like really take advantage of the time when it's time to work. Take
yeah,
advantage of it, do the work, and be done with it. That's
right.
it. Simple as that. But
That's
again,
it.
not just music, podcast, y'all. Another Homeisode. We just kicking, talking,
Yeah.
spitting, speaking on things. And again, I'm gonna reveal something really big though, in one of these episodes, and just to push the whole situation of other cultures and the cultural shock that I received over the past, it's gonna just stick around if those that do pay it attention, just listen out for it. I'm gonna put it out in an exclusive way. I'm not gonna put it out in just a normal podcasting way. Give this something, because this deserves flowers. It doesn't deserve anything small. And making it a big situation versus just saying that I'm just gonna put something out in the usual way. No, it does not deserve that. So, but just definitely stick around. Again, we're not just music podcast. Duan Bruno, Quincy Murdoch, and we are out.